Hey guys, it's Nospaniol here, and in this tutorial I'm going to teach you how you can connect a database in JavaFX and FXML. So the first thing will be uh, uh, setting a base of which we'll be creating. We will create a simple application. We will be adding a contact, some contacts, which is the name, the phone number, and the residence into the database. And then I'll show you how you can retrieve this database. So this is the first part in this long tutorial, where I'll show you now how we can connect first the database and create the table. So we will create a new project. It is a JavaFX application, JavaFX and FXML. Select next, then type in the name of your project. So this is the name of our project, contacts, and then select finish. So in this contacts software, small software, we will be doing a lot of Java. Now dwelling into the Derby database, we'll be using the Derby database. So before this, we will create a package, new Java package. This package will be holding the database. So let us call this package database, and then select finish. So here, right click this package database and new Java class. So we will call this database handler because we want this. The reason why I've selected the name of the class to be database handler and this should be in uppercase, it is because it will be handling our database. That's just the reason behind that crazy name. So after doing that, now we go direct and type in some code. First, we will create an object of this class database handler because we will be using this object to instantiate, like to rerun or restart or jumpstart this class. So that's just the layman language. But now we'll be using it to instantiate the class. And then now let us create now the database handler. We'll create now this object, and first of all, this object it should be private. We don't get external access, so private static, because we'll be calling it from a static method. So private, and then let us call our we just call it method handler, and then we will initiate it to be null. And then the next thing again will be, now let us create the URL for the database. So where do you want this URL? Because we are creating an embedded type of database, so you need a location where this database should be created or should be located if it already exists. So now we'll put in some string. So private string should be final, and then now the private string final, and then we'll call this string database underscore URL. Now here let us type in the location of our string. So the first thing, JDBC, then W, then type in now the name of the database. So let us call our database contact DB, something like that. Then after doing that, put a semicolon and then set create to be true, meaning if the system does not find this database, it will create it. If you set the create to be false, it will not create it. If it is absent, you'll have to create it manually. So now the next thing is to declare some connection, and this should be public because it will be used by other methods. So public static connection this C should be in uppercase. So at least I will initiate it to be null, and then I'll create a statement, because we'll be using statements again in this tutorial. So private static statement. So we need to import some things here. So the first thing, we will import the SQL connection, and then the statement, we will include the SQL statement. So now that we have that, the next thing now is to create a constructor of the class. The things that we, because inside this constructor we will be placing the methods that we want it to run by default. Remember, constructors are always like methods, but in constructors, this is where any method called inside a constructor will be called at the start or at the call of this class, or when this class runs or is called or is instantiated, it will be called. So we'll need a constructor, because most of our tables will create methods to create them, and it will be called in the constructor. So it will be private. Obvious constructors take the name of the class, so it's so obvious, private, and constructors are just like methods in most ways. And then now again we will need to create another method. This method has the return type of the class database handler, because it will be returning the object handler of this class. And this method, because this method should be public, so that when other classes want to use the database, they will use this method to get an instance of the class database handler. If it is null, it will get a new instance of the database handler, which is not null. And to do this, I will create a private static. Now this one has a return type, database handler. And as usual for methods, so private static database handler. We have not given the name of the method. That is that. This is the return type. So this is not the name of the method. It is the return type. So let us give the method get instance, because this method will be getting the instance. And you can see there's an error, because this one has a return type, so it needs something to be returned. So first of all, I will check. So what I want to check, if the object handler, this one, the one we declared, is it null? So maybe it would be to avoid duplicate instance of the same class. We will be just checking if handler equals to null, then nothing should happen. Okay, sorry, if handler equals to null, we should get a new instance. So handler, we will assign handler something, a new database handler. So anything that will be in the database handler, so into bracket. Else, okay, if it equals to null. So if it's not null, you no need of typing the else. But what will be returning, because this one has a return type, and you should return the type of data type. This is for object, so we will be returning the object of that class, so handler. So now that we have that, we are good to go. Then the next thing now is to create a method that will create the connection to the database. So this method, we'll call it create connection, and then into brackets. So here inside, now we'll be creating a statement which will need a try catch, because we'll be catching some error. So catch. So what we want is an exception. E print trace. So that's it. And then inside here, I want to type in now the statement. So we'll be calling the class for the embedded driver, because we'll be using an embedded driver. An embedded driver comes in like a folder. It is different from a client driver. So if you have ever used any form of data like MySQL, where you can access from servers, other servers, for embedded drivers, it is different. It is created as a folder, and it is better if the application will be used mostly by one person, or you want this application to be portable. You can carry it anywhere. You don't need to do some networking to the database that is somewhere else. So that is one of the importance of an embedded database. So now let us go direct to the code, and then we'll be calling class for the name. So here I'll type in some string values, and then so we are calling class for the embedded driver. So this is how we do it. I mean, Java programming is one of the most easiest thing to learn. So you just have passion to learn Java. You can even learn within 1 week. There are almost the whole of Java. Java is actually simple. It's just a language like French, Chinese, any language that you would like to know. For instance, so this code will be calling the embedded driver class, and then again, now let us now create a connection for the URL. So con, you can remember con, this one, the connection. Now I'm calling the driver manager to get connection to the URL. Yeah, now that's it. So after doing that, now because this is the method we want, this is the first method we want it to be called in the constructor, because it will be the one that will be giving us connection to the database. Now after doing that, now so far so good. Just come, if you're using NetBeans, your project is here, and then the main method is here, contacts with Java. So far so good. We have changed nothing. And then and the controller class file is here, that will be called when the first FXML file will be called. So in this class we will call the database handler. So database, we want to see if we can create a simple database. So let us call in your controller class file. This is how now you can call a database in your graphical interface application, because you can see this one has an FXML. This is an FXML application. We had another package that will be holding our database, but now we have called an object of the class database handler, this handler, but this handler is null, so we have to give it an instance. The instance we created when we were creating the database. To check if it is null, it will give us a new class of the database handler. So handler, then let us call the application a get instance. So sorry, just type in database handler, the name of the class, and then here you get the instance. So that's it. Can just go back. Oh, sorry, it's supposed to be public because it will be used by other classes. So this one should be public so that other classes can use. So now that we have that, now I want, after doing that, just come to the files here. We want to see this database, the one we named, if you can remember, contact DB. Now we want to see what happens here. So build your application successfully. Now that the build is successful, let us run the application and see what happens. So there is some error, and I can see and I know why we have an error. So let us go back to the projects. Here we have not imported any library that will help us to use the DB database. So come to the libraries first, add a JAR folder. Now I've been taken direct, but I want to assume you have never imported any library from the DB. This is Windows operating system. So this PC, it is at local disk C. So my Java, the one I installed is at a 2-bit application. But if you have a 64-bit application of Java, you just come to program files, then look for a folder called Java. But all the same, mine is at program files 86. Then this folder called Java. Then select JDK. This is where I'll be taking. Then DB. So after DB, now come to the lib, and then here we have the libraries. So select DB. You can select DB client, DB net, DB run, DB tools. That will be one of the things we'll be using. So you can just import them. They're important libraries. Now again, you can build now the application again. And after building the application, come again to the files. Let us run now this application. So again we have an error, so we will just check. So we again have an error, and we have to check the drivers. Sorry, it's supposed to be the embedded driver. So that's it, embedded driver. So Java is a very case sensitive language, and if there is any typographical error, we should try and avoid them because it brings a lot of confusion. And again, now we don't have, and you can see a database has been created. There's nothing we have added into the interface, but so far so good. We have a database, and you can see a database has been created. And even if I delete, I want to delete it and see what happens if I delete this database. So we will let FNetBeans to delete this project, that database. So the advantage of using an embedded driver is this. One, it will check if the database doesn't exist, not what happens here. Because if it doesn't exist, it will create another one. And here we go again. So it has created twice. So that's it. That's how we do it. So the next thing I want to show you now, before we end this tutorial, I will create a simple method that will be creating a table, because we are creating a phone book where we'll be storing our contacts, the name, the residence, and the contact, the phone number into the database. So let us create. Call this method create, or just say phone book. So into brackets I'll type in here. First of all, I'll declare the name of the table. So string table name, and I'll call the table. Let us call it contacts. And then after doing that, now the next thing now will be now calling the connection. So first of all, I'll create a try statement, a try catch statement. Here we'll be catching SQL exceptions. SQL exception. So we need to specify some of the things because they so far so good. We have to import first the SQL exception. I know there's an error because there is no SQL so far. Sorry for that. And then now let us create first a statement. So I'll just call the statement. You can remember this statement stmt, the one we created and we initiated as null. So stmt equals to, now we are creating a statement. So this one, now we are creating a statement, and this statement we initially initiated it as null, but now here we want to create this statement. Now will be creating from the connection that we have just gained to the embedded driver, the database, the DB URL, and you can see it got a connection to the URL, and the URL is the contact DB database that we just made. So this statement now creates a statement. It creates a connection. Now the next thing now is to check the metadata in the database. So I'll check the database metadata and just call it dbm. Let us initiate it as and get the metadata directly from the connection that we have gained into the database, because we will be checking using this. We'll get a result set and check some of the things. The table, some tables exist. The table we have just mentioned, so we'll do some imports, and the SQL metadata is what we need. And then after doing that, now let us get the result set of this connection, of this query. This is a query we have just instantiated. So most of these things you will get to understand the more you code. So just get these facts at the moment. So the result set tables is equals to the database metadata that we just gained. So dbm, then get the table. So the first one just null. Then I'll change this table name to uppercase. We want all our table to be in uppercase, and then the type I'll just import something here. Result set, we need the result set, and I'll put a semicolon. So now when that's done, we'll now check if this table now exists, whatever we have here. So this is the result set, checks for us if this table in uppercase truly exists, because we placed everything into uppercase. So now let us check if tables dot next, if that result set truly is to go by. So if tables dot next, now we can just put in some message, a console message. system out and let us put in some message. The table and let us just copy this. We'll just copy the table name. So exists